Everybody happy.
Davis here. We should have given him grief about the way he did his Good morning, everyone. I will call to order this public meeting of the Arapahoe County Board of County Commissioners for August 6, 2019. To my left is Ron Carl, the County Attorney. To my far right is Jolene Sanchez, the Clerk to the Board Administrator. Ms. Sanchez, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Conti?
Good morning.
Good morning. Commissioner Sharp? Here. Commissioner Holland?
Here.
Commissioner Jackson?
Here.
Commissioner Baker?
Here. Commissioner Sharp, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Carl, are there any modifications to the agenda this morning?
There are no modifications today.
Then I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Sharp, seconded by Commissioner Conti. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries unanimously. This is the time that we've set aside for citizen comments. Are there any citizens here this morning that would like to address the board? Seeing none, we will close the citizen comment period, and we have one ceremony. I would call forward our Public Works Director, Brian Weimer. Good morning, Mr. Weimer. We're here to honor a retiring employee.
Seems like this is a common occurrence in the last couple of years. And so, before you read the resolution, I'd like to say a couple of things. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for recognizing Mark Brown for his 23 years of dedicated service to citizens of Arapahoe County. I had the honor and pleasure to work with Mark for those 23 years. And during that time, I can remember projects, the successes, the challenges, most importantly, how he pitched in to help other project managers. Let it be through sickness and illness that maybe were a difficulty, or they had a challenge with a particular issue. Mark was always there to help with that. When I drive by the Dry Creek Station light rail bridges, I'll always remember Mark. And he was instrumental in making sure that those bridges extended from I-25 to the east. In particular, we had a challenge with those bridges, and that was we needed to meet Buy American standards for all the elevators. There is not an elevator in the United States that is Buy American compliant. And so at Mark's suggestion, we decided to look for a mule that was born in the U.S. and ropes in a basket. But we didn't have to go that far, so we worked it out. I think it's also fitting that today is one of Mark's last efforts, and that is a right-of-way acquisition for a project with Inverness. And I think it's a dedication to his relationship building that he's made. That right-of-way dedication is at no cost to the county, no cost to the project, and will be moving forward. So those relationships that he's built throughout the year, and in particular this one with Inverness Metro District, has served the county well. So I appreciate that. But, I also appreciate the time we've spent in division staff meetings with music competition, music trivia competition, and the stories we've heard about misspent youth and traveling with a band or something. And I'll let him tell those outside of a public hearing, but those are memories that I will always remember. But I think Mark's true legacy, and the thing I'll remember most about him, is his genuine caring for people. When he announced his retirement, my wife and I were talking, and essentially what we said is he is a nice guy and a good guy. And I think that's where his legacy is. He is giving, kind, compassionate, and in this day and age, I think that is something that's missing in the world. And it's great to have somebody like that. And I want to thank Mark for providing that to the department for over his tenure at Arapahoe County. Mark, you will leave a void in the department, but I'm happy you can turn the page on this next chapter of your life. You can spend more time with your family. You can go through those 50,000 vinyl records. Is that where it is right now in the basement? Yeah. You can enjoy your grandson. Play with those Tonka toys. Remember? Yeah. And tell those stories about what the real equipment is like when you were an engineer in Arapahoe County. But also, like I told you, you need to volunteer at his school. You would be great at it. Thank you for not only being a coworker, an employee, and a friend, but you will be missed by this department. You'll be missed by myself. And we're excited for you. We're excited for this next chapter, and congratulations on a career well spent and this next chapter that you're going to be moving into, and that's your retirement. So with that, you can ask for others or do the resolution.
I'm just going to say, I am really going to miss you. I be sitting next to you in meetings and okay, what about this? What about that? And all these options that, on traffic and transportation that confused me. You had very, very good recommendations. And Brian's exactly right. You are a really, really wonderful person. And you can tell that just by being around you. And I will miss that, but I am really happy for you and look forward to hearing what you are going to be doing. So thank you very much. But I will say that I'll miss all of your great advice about all of the things that I need to know and the help with all of the transportation issues. I really have appreciated it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Mark, I'm like Brian, have certain memories, and so for me it's going to be Broncos Parkway, which I drive very often, and sometimes I cut through the parking lot at the Road and Bridge facility there, and I think you were involved with that parking lot project. If not, it was also the Federal Elections Warehouse parking lot, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure if I remember that far back. If that was me or not, I'm not sure.
Okay. And Commissioner Jackson.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. I'll just say a few words, and that is to thank you for your 23 years of service. I have found in my experience that people think of engineers as sort of lonely, number crunching, straight arrow folk. And I think that knowing you is a wonderful counter example to that image. Your warmth and your sense of humor. The meetings I've attended where your sense of humor is truly appreciated. I'll just say it that way. I did not know you were a musician before just now, but it certainly fits with my picture of who you are. So I want to thank you, and thank you for your kindness, and thank you for your service. And I hope you enjoy many, many more years of music, love, and laughter.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Holland.
Thank you. I have had the honor of overseeing and being a part of the Public Works Department for two cycles, and I am so impressed with the quality of our workforce there. Your career emphasizes that in spite of the constrained budgets that we're working on, that you're able to find solutions to important projects that our citizens so desperately need. It's not an easy job, and I think your approach and your ability to inject humor in the process, I think relieves some of the pain a little bit. But but more importantly, I think that the character that you've shown over the years and that you're leaving this organization with is one that should be an example to all of those who work for the county. You maintain a sense of humor. You are passionate and caring about the constituents that you serve, and more importantly, I'm looking at your family over there, and what a wonderful legacy you've created in your career and your ability to raise your children. It's hard for me as a commissioner to really understand the pressures and deadlines that you and other people within the Public Works Department have to face on a daily basis. We get the stones, you have to do the work. So I'm grateful for the competence and clarity that you bring to this county, and we're going to desperately miss you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. I really appreciate that too. Thank you.
Commissioner Conti.
I guess I'll get the final word. Thank you so much for what you have brought. Nancy referenced the stereotypical, engineer, and obviously you brought a much broader and more pleasant picture to that, to not only to us that sat around the conference table with you from time to time, but certainly to your department and your coworkers. Thank you for that, and your 23 incredible years of service. And of course, I do recall also some of the clarity that you brought as we sat around trying to grapple with, some of the intricacies of the, Public Works Department and issues that were going on there. So thank you for that. And I wish you absolute nothing but the best in the upcoming retirement chapter that's coming up next in your life.
Right. Thank you so much, Commissioner. Appreciate that as well. And thank you. I want to thank the board and all the commissioners for recognizing my service with the county here today. I greatly appreciate that. I could not have asked for a better job than the one I had with Public Works all these years. It was truly a blessing for me and my family to have this opportunity. And to all my coworkers and managers and directors, both past and present, I thank you for all your love, support, and laughter and memories. I am grateful for having worked with each and every one of you, and I really want to thank you for all the great memories that I have, and I'll treasure those memories forever. So thank you very much.
The board recognizes Commissioner Holland for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we, where's the motion here? Just read that. Okay. Resolution, I move the approval of Resolution 9XX, and would appreciate a second. Oh, okay. Whereas Mark began his employment with Arapahoe County in July of 1996 as an engineer 2 in the engineering services division, was later promoted to an engineer 3 in December of 1999, transferring to the transportation division, and has provided 23 years of dedicated service to the county. And whereas Mark's experience has been in providing professional engineering services to the Department of Public Works and Development as a capital improvement project manager, and also as a right-of-way acquisition specialist, which was pointed out today, your last act, I guess. Acquisition specialist, where his work has been steadfast and reliable. even when dealing with the gnarly situations and colorful characters with names such as Haas during the negotiations of right-of-way acquisition in eastern Arapahoe County. And whereas Mark will be missed for his ever-present musical knowledge in regards to the history and masters of the blues, and his smooth saxophone playing that occurs at the department parties and at Haas County employee picnics. Whereas Mark is a jazz enthusiast, and many of his co-workers enjoy going to live jazz shows with Mark. And whereas Mark has been collecting vinyl records for years, and the department staff will no longer be able to pass along their old vinyls to Mark or acquire 78 records from him. Are you going to dedicate that library to the county? Don't answer that. You're being recorded. Whereas Mark was invaluable in the PWD Earth Day events, plant carrier, food carrier, and poster setter-upper, and breakdown. And whereas we ask, who the heck is going to present the Everyday Hero Awards? And whereas Mark will be greatly missed at the weekly Friday lunches at Jerome's Pizza, and whereas Mark will be remembered for always having a kind smile and an infectious laugh, and whereas Mark Brown was the first coworker James Buell met at PWD and instantly made him feel part of the team and went over and beyond to bring him up to speed on procedures, methods, techniques, and of Arapahoe County. And whereas Mark was always reviewed work with a fine-tooth comb and never let even the smallest discrepancy go by unchecked. And whereas the melodic jazz music and stories of old tune rhythm and blues musicians will no longer emanate from Mark's festive office. And whereas Mark possesses the never-ending ability to see the good in everyone and everything, even while working through difficult solutions. And whereas Mark's voluntarily incarcerated himself each year with half days during the annual lock-up for muscular dystrophy, whereas Mark's fundraiser in jail time helped send kids after kids to the MDA summer camp, and whereas Mark has an invaluable pinch hitter, for many county projects by asking the reins as assigned and skillfully cover projects and tasks with other CIP staff have been out of the office or extended leave. So he's a big volunteer even at work. Thank you, Mark. Mark has this is long. Whereas Mark has been an invaluable mentor to staff by providing guidance on how we operate and conduct business, and whereas we will miss Mark's uncanny ability to establish meaningful and productive relationships with the public, county staff, other agencies, and metropolitan districts, contractors, consulting engineers, utility owners, landowners, and project stakeholders. And whereas while retirement will be a major change in Mark's lifestyle, it is anticipated that he will quickly adjust to being able to spend more time with his wife, Lori, and family, including grandchildren. And finally, being able to find that one special vinyl record among his mass collection that no one knew existed. And whereas Mark will truly missed by Arapahoe County staff, we will wish him nothing but the best in his retirement. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the County Commissioners of Arapahoe County to recognize the contributions of Mark Brown has made as a valued employee of Arapahoe County, and whereby declare that his future shall prosper for Arapahoe County has under his dedication, service, and commitment.
Second.
And so we have a motion by Commissioner Holland, seconded by many of us. All in favor? Aye. That motion carries unanimously, and we want to send you off with a standing ovation.
Thank you.
Mark, thank you for listening attentively to our resolution, in spite of its length and preciseness.
Thank you, Commissioner Holland, for the resolution. And again, thank you, Board. I'm very grateful for this recognition today, and I want to thank my PWD family for coming today, too. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And I don't know if Dave Schmidt has that one story left or not. I don't know if he wants to go there or not.
Dave actually is writing a book.
Oh, very good.
History of mistakes.
Well, I'll be in that for sure. Thank you again very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mark. We normally would take a recess and go out for some photographs, but we've got the consent agenda and no general business items. So let's conclude that, and then we'll meet you out in the hallway for some photos. Dave, do you want to say a few words?
I'll tell it out there.
Okay.
He doesn't want this recorded.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We have about 6 items on our consent agenda. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns?
Sure.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Conti, seconded by Commissioner Holland. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries. We have no general business items. Are there commissioner comments this morning? Commissioner Holland.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This weekend and a week before, we experienced 3 major attacks on the citizens of the United States by domestic terrorists. Our heart, each and every one of the members of the commission, our hearts go out to the families who have suffered the loss and ensure that the memories of those who have been brutally killed is memorialized. I am a combat veteran from Vietnam and have experienced the kind of terror that these poor innocent people witnessed and ended their life with. And I think it's time for all of us to begin to take a serious look at the kinds of things that we say, the kinds of thoughts that we have, and replace those negative thoughts with a simple word, and that is love. As Martin Luther King so eloquently put during the Civil Rights Movement, hate does not eliminate hate. Only love can do that. And I think his statement says a lot about what we need to do as a society and how each and every one of us can make a difference by reaching out and showing our love to our fellow Americans and others who come into this country looking for freedom and a new life. Thank you.
Any other commissioner comments this morning? Seeing none, we are adjourned.
So 7:30.
Yeah.